think I'm live. Seeing as this is the first one I've ever done, I'm just gonna make sure I've got this right by going and checking. Ignore my history. Ignore it. Okay, yeah, it looks like it's going. That's all I want. This is my Mozart audio channel. Not even sure if you can see it because I've got it as screen capture, so yeah, it might not be perfect. But this is my channel where I'll be doing audio composition, live stuff, and I'll do some software tutorials as well. And you know, I started a basic mixing course which has got loads of views, and it keeps getting better, as you can see. 22, 19, 2. Top-notch stuff. But, you know, got to get it out there. So yeah, today I am going to essentially mess around with this little video that I made using Blender. Just a simple animation of some products bobbing up and down for a client, because I do 3D and audio. So this is the video I'm going to be working with today. I'm not going to be doing anything too mad and complicated. It's going to just essentially be this bobbing video with a gentle ambient theme to fit with it. Nothing too crazy. I'm using Logic Pro X, which will be the main thing that I'll be doing. One thing I'm going to quickly set up is my input preferences, my buffer size. Could crash. Sometimes it happens. I'm going to apply it. Should have done it first. But, you know, I'm just going to do that so it's a little bit less lag on my input. So, here I've got a simple software instrument channel set up with Native Instruments Fm8 Synth. I quite like it. It's old now. There's a lot of newer stuff out there with a lot of cool presets and things, but I tend to stick with what I know until I get pretty comfortable with it, and then I move on. So yeah, I'm going to start with this. I quite like it. It kind of has a sort of analogy, dirty sound to it, which I quite like. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I've actually got a few presets that I've designed, not really presets, but you know, settings on the synths that I use. But I'm just going to mess around with, you know, I'm going to hit a preset and do some edits to it, because this isn't really a sort of, you know, deep thing. I'm just making a quick 40 seconds or however long it is. I think it's like, yeah, 40 seconds ish video. I'm just going to do some ambient stuff in the background. So it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to go to my browser. I already know that I really like the 80s pad. So I'm going to double click to load that. It's quite a fat sound. And I like sort of messing with that thing really. For chords, the low end's really nice. Real deep sounding. Mids are cool, they've got a nice bit of grit to them. but then they've got that kind of tape effect, you know, tape sound. Sounds like a retro kind of thing going on. So yeah, I'll stick with that for now. I might, you know, play around with the analog digital settings, make it sound, you know, if you put that fully up, gets a bit warped. But I need to stay away from my sci-fi side of life because I do love it, but I need to make this a bit more pure. So I'm going to just go for a sort of digital setting. And I'm not really going to use the low end, I'm going to use like the higher frequencies up here. I might even whack it up an octave on my keyboard. I don't really stick to any kind of chords, I kind of just go, ooh, I'll put it there. I've marked out a few keys on my thing. Some nice chords. So, yeah. So we've got our preset. I might go back into it and do some. Where is it? Yeah, you can do some effects within the actual synth. Sometimes I like to come down here, and on this FM matrix, you can mess around with some different things. I won't go into too much detail, but basically you can create feedback loops for these different modules, which are kind of like, you can view them as layers of the sound. So, you know, if I just play a single note, turn that right up, you get that kind of real gritty sound. And that's kind of, you know, feeding noise back into it, sort of. But yeah, I'm just going to bring that down. I'm just going to mash out some chords. I'm going to use the F and the F major 7. One thing I'm going to do is press X, show the tracks, because this click is always abnormally loud, so I'm going to bring it right down before it bursts all of our ears. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to hit R, and it will start recording. And then you can see I completely made a cock up by hitting the wrong chord. But the beauty of this process is that it doesn't matter. I mean, you heard it, so, you know, kind of matters. You can see my big mistake here. I just sort of completely ballsed it. I was actually meant to go for this higher F. You can see the notes highlighted there as I play them. But I didn't do it. So if I delete that little note, so that's actually what I was trying to do. I will zoom out, and what I'm going to do is just bring this to the length of the entire video clip. I'm just going to expand that slightly. And you can't hear anything on the play, and that's because we got some kind of clipping going on. Not clipping, but you know, it doesn't start at the start, essentially. So you've got to bring that right to the beginning, enter space to play. So pretty simple. It's obviously, it sounds like sci-fi and the product doesn't suit that, but I'm just using this as a way of mapping it out. That's another thing I actually quite like doing. See, I've got these chords, and you might think, oh, a melody would be quite nice, but so there I've kind of come up with a melody just by clicking the different notes within the chord, which is essentially what scales are. I'm just copying that. So that's an F, that's an E. So I'm following the pattern by flattening the F. Now, I could just, I could just do that, select those, keep copying them, and then maybe extend that all the way to the end. So we got this, super repetitive kind of thing, and that's just giving us a little bit. So I can use the video because this is, I did it to a click, and you can highlight. Oops. Used to Windows. You can highlight it or press this little Q, which will lock it into perfect time on 16th notes, because that's what I've got. Even though I've got a little bit of an overhang, which is pretty good. You want that because you've got these like sort of stops, which I don't like. I kind of like the flow. So you drag all that and bring it a bit closer together. That one sounds a bit naff. So I'm just matching them all up. And what I might do is just overlap the notes that aren't the same, just to see what we get. So yeah, we get this kind of cool thing going on where they sound like they're blended. So it might be a good thing to do for all of the notes that aren't obviously the same. Having these varying sort of times is good as well. It gives it that human element to it. Yeah, we're getting some weirdness going on, so maybe it doesn't work with all of them. Maybe that's because there's too much variation in the note length. So maybe these ones need to actually have that gap. And to get that crossover, it will be probably easier to do it with an effect. So I've got my cut tool as my secondary tool, which allows you to snip little bits. That's probably the energy as well is a little bit off. So I'm just gonna go back to what I was before. This one was fine. That one's gonna be weird. That one's gonna be super weird. This one we can go to about there. Okay, one more listen. Okay, yeah, that's going to be roughly what we want. So it does sound very sci-fi, which is not what I want to do for this particular video. I kind of want it to sound, you know, the products themselves are this kind of clean skincare style. So I'm going to go for this in the audio. So I want to take out some of that grit. So I'm going to go down to my EQ, linear phase EQ. I'm going to take out most of them. Turn on my low. And I'm going to filter out loads of the low. It still sounds pretty gritty, which we kind of want, so I'm just going to have like a sort of taper on the high end. Okay, so it sounds a bit muddy, but that's alright. I mean, you could go for something like this and sort of search for a different frequency area that you want. And you could also automate this to sort of, you know, that's almost like that's a wave kind of effect. But I'll do some of those time-based things a little bit later on, because I want to basically sync it a bit more with the video. I want to just get an overall sound at the moment. It's not kind of spacious enough, so I'm going to add an auxiliary channel. I always start from the bottom. Loads of people do it from the top. Set that to 0 by holding Alt, clicking it. And then I've got a audio unit by Valhalla DSP. I'm sure loads of people have got it, but vintage verb. Amazing little reverb. Straight off the bat, the presets are nice. Don't have to mess around. You can get the same with the Logic ones, but I really do like the Valhalla stuff. Set this to the modern color. I cut the lows to about 310. Bring that down. Just see what this sounds like fully mixed. Pretty tasty. So I'm going to go to that chord with the overhang. I'm just going to take it away. Bring that to about there. Because with the reverb you don't really need that overhang as much, and it sort of becomes a bit more obvious and I don't like it. So we've got a single pad, retro pad on the FM8 with a filter, EQ cut, and a reverb. So it's, you know, it's, I kind of want that, you know, watery vibe, so I'm gonna go for that. Just for now, just so I can do my time edits a bit better. So I'm gonna just I almost said extrude like I'm using 3D. Just gonna pull that down so I can get a sort of rough. It may be cool if this was a bit clearer with Logic, but it's not really designed for this. The ideal scenario would be dual monitors, so I can have a big version of this on a separate screen, but I'm using my little laptop for the whole thing. So yeah, what I'm going to do is open up this editor again, and I'm going to find the transition points for the clips. So my first sort of edit is going to be on those exact transitions. So I'm going to try and make roughly the chords change as the image changes. And it's almost syncing up pretty good, like it's looking like every 2 bars we've got a, oh, this one's a bit out. Okay, so if I just bring that down, is that bang on? Yeah, so that's like bang on 13.1. And then that one is 17.2. Phased out a little bit, I didn't really watch. Okay, so because it's like a sort of spacious sound, the audio, ooh, run over my lead. The audio has a bit of a delay, so it's getting this right. So maybe it's going to be a lot of faff to get it right. That might be right. Okay, this one as well might be a little bit too early. So the change is there. This one might be a little bit too late. I'm just going to take that off so it's got like a little bit of a delay at the end. Not delay, like a release at the end. Okay, so roughly they're better on the transitions. Okay, I'm gonna just go with that for now. So I'm now going to do some automation on this bad boy to make the chords kind of flow with the bobbing, the up and down movement. So I'm going to hit A on this. I'm going to go down to my linear high cut frequency and click on it to engage. I'm going to put an end point there. So one thing that would be helpful actually is to where have they gone? I've lost something. I can't remember where the I don't know where the markers have gone. What have I done? Done something stupid, didn't I? Usually there's a little thing. Completely gone. Where are the markers? I can't remember how to do it, so I'm going to look it up when in doubt. Blah blah blah, open global tracks, click control, headers. Oh yeah, I saw it. Configure track header. Have I missed something here? What have I done? What have I done wrong? Configure global track, select marker track. Amateur question, as they say. Ah, I knew it was something simple. Right click it. Should have just done that myself. Didn't even need to Google. But anyway, so now I've got over that hurdle. A good thing to do is to set some markers up. because having to scrub through the video every time might get a bit annoying. So I'm going to scrub through it once. So it is exactly there. Put a marker. I'm just going to say change. I'm going to scrub through again. Zoom right in. Nope. Find the transition. That'll do. Change. Oh, I keep doing that, don't I? Frustrating. That'll do. Change. And zoom in on that one. And where is it? About there. And change. Okay. So I've got my change markers. And I'm going to put end. Just for fun. Okay. So I've got my changes marked, which will hopefully enable me to automate the EQ a little bit better. Right, so now press A. I'm going to put markers at all of these change points on the automation line, and then I'm going to do middle ones. Just kind of random. Kind of random. And you can see your little EQ meter here, which I'm going to make a little bit smaller. And I'm just going to do, I'm going to go to the top, so it starts in the middle. And I'm going to find that low point where it's going to go up. Maybe I'll do it like quite a substantial one. And because we've gone through the effort of doing that, I might make the chord change also sync with that turning point, changing point. So, excuse my voice breaking. So we are going to find that low point of the bob, which is roughly there. Oh, I'm so used to Windows already, I've only had it for a month. So that should look a little better. The bobs are quite fast, so the music might not flow with it at first. but I'm just messing around. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm just going to Control Z what I did. And do it again. Right, so my first roadblock is that is the change. So the thing to do would be to find another chord, really. Or have that chord string out quite a bit and then go to the automation of this and have it start dipping quite drastically to simulate some kind of movement rather than changing the chord. It's a bit weird, not quite what I had in mind. Oops, so there are some options. Pressing T, I can curve these. Not sounding so good. And I'm wondering if that's to do with the sudden... It's the timing of it, basically. It doesn't sound very good, that's why. But I don't like to conform, you see. I don't like to make it 100% how it should sound. How can I do that then? Maybe I'll just have to have that dip starting quite substantially and then rising all the way to this point. We'll try this. It's the little stutter that I've got to get rid of. Maybe it's because, let me just try. It's the drastic change in velocity potentially. So I'm going to just whoop that all down. Just extend these ones. Alright, that's starting to sort of sound a little bit better and fit a little bit better. But still not right. It's a lot of repeating. This might be really bad. It was. I'll just have that. Kind of do that. So I've done this change. Oh no. So to extend that, I'm kind of jumping all over the shop, I know. Okay, so yeah, I need to use the chords to match the movement a bit more. So it's about there. Alright. So I've messed around with it quite a bit. Oops. And probably not for the better. So I've done some of that. One thing you'll notice is it's a lot of listening to the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over, which if you can build up a tolerance for, then you're all good for this stuff. Probably need some more details. So I need to bring these, I'm going to bring these changes to the beginning, or at least a change to the beginning of each chord, and do some kind of variation within it. Oh, what have I done there? I'm not going higher frequencies. I want it to be like, you know, almost like it's bobbing in the water. So this one I'm going to bring all the way to that. Yeah, so I've read that wrong again. I've got to chase this stuff a little bit. Yeah, I've overcomplicated it, I think. We need a change. We need that 16, 40 at each change, and we need lows on the bobs. If that makes sense. And maybe we can increase it. That's a bit too low to hear, so this needs to go all the way down to that point. Yeah, so it's high. And then it goes all the way down to about there. Then it shoots back up. It's high, it goes all the way down to about there. The bob's different on each one. So I'm just trying to cover up those transitions between the two. And then maybe this is where I set my secondary tool to the automation curve tool. So I can just do some kind of intricate edits. And that one actually starts to rise again, doesn't it? To about here. And then it takes a drastic drop. It's a bit too much of a bite on that. Seems to hold down there for quite a while. So we have a little flat bit. Now we do need a bit of a peak to make that a bit more visible. So I'm going to have a middle point and curve them into each other. See if that does anything. Ooh, not good. So maybe that needs to drop quite substantially for the change to be noticed. Tricky one I've set myself up here for. It's because all the clips aren't rising and dipping equally, so I'm not able to really just go ba 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 ba. This is starting to look a bit crazy. So that first one's good. That's what I kind of want all the way through it. Then the clip's got that extra bit. It's not like it changes. The thing to do would be to edit the clips, the videos, so they goes down one, up one, changes, down one, up one, changes. That would be the thing to do. But they kind of and then stop, and then change, and then stop. Yeah, it might be worth doing a quick edit on the video, because this is the kind of issues you come into, and it just won't look and sound very good. So I'm going to do those edits. I'm going to quickly, what can I dump it into? So let's oh no, don't want to delete that. I want to remove the movie. I am going to go, ooh, got this Ambo video, got the bobbing, and I'm going to just use iMovie. Where is it? iMovie. I'll just use this one. Okay. So about here, I'm going to split the clip. And so this one goes up, and this one goes up. Find its highest point. About there. I'm going to split that clip. I'm just going to take these chunks out. Goes down, and it goes up. That one's fine. This one goes up again. I'm going to go there, delete that. And this one goes down, and it goes up. And this one goes up. Split the clip, delete, down, then up. Then this one goes up again and down and up. So about there. Split the clip, down, then up. Okay, so I'm then just going to pull these in. Honestly, don't worry about this. This is something that... Okay, so that's... There we go. I'm just going to export this high quality Ambo bobbing _2. Next to the desktop. Yep, that's totally fine. This will take not so long, hopefully. Yep, you can see up there it's doing its thing. So while it's doing that, I'm going to come to here, and I'm actually going to swipe these edits back to this first one, and just, because I'm going to have to redo quite a lot of stuff, which is annoying, extraordinarily annoying. So frustrating, in fact. That is that far. That is that far ahead. Dun -dun 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 -dun. Not too far. Not too far. Let us... I'm just going to see some settings in this, because I have got some things I need to change, and while that's doing its thing, why not? Just want to have a little look at this. I'm going to change that to F10 and that to F9 while I am waiting. Okay, that's got a few moments, so I'm just going to quickly go for a P. And he's back. One of those ones that was kind of like going on forever. But gotta do what you gotta do. So I have my video edit done. Substantially shorter. Which means I've got to make some big edits. Probably messed it up somewhere. But what I'm going to do is, yeah, just go for it a lot. So this one should be relatively the same. So the change is there. Original change was there. And it's now there. Change is now there. And that changes there. I mean, got to worry about the rest. Okay, so now I'll go down to the chords. So this might work. It might just be better. Might just be better all over. So the next change is on 7. Bum, bum. I'm just going to do this roughly. So this is on, I think the change is on 10. So we've got 7. Yeah, I'll move through it as I do it. Again, you know, I've basically started again, and I've been streaming for can't actually see how long I've been streaming for on my thing. Oh well, gotta be done. So hopefully this will work a bit better on the actual transitions. What I'm going to do is, because it's starting to look a bit scrappy, is just get rid of all of that. So I've just got me 2 chords, and I'm just going to re-input them to make a bit more sense. Because we just got a down up, down up, down up. So it should just be the 2 chords. On the change, on the change. That should be relatively right. Roughly right, I mean. The notes, the lengths are going to have to change. This is where Okay, so we're back to this business again. On the change. It's about there. And that's the change for that one. Bring the second set of notes to the lowest point. Bring them up there. Then make sure that's the right change, yep. Bring the second set of notes to roughly the lowest point. And I'm just gonna try and catch up to where I was by marking these change points, doing a middle one, and dropping it to create that dip. Okay, so we've got some weirdness going on. This whole transition is it's a bit early. A bit late, sorry, a bit late. So I always like to go slightly ahead. Didn't do enough notes. Does that mean I've done that all the way across? Yes, it does. How unfortunate. So I'm going to delete the wrong ones, which is on F2, and I'm going to copy them down. So that should be better. So now we got, oh, just carry on, shouldn't I? Not liking that one. I think it's the way it finishes. Yep. I'm just going to take this loop off now. Okay, so that's what, yeah, I need to do that all the way across. So the peak change frequency change, peak and troughs need to be away from the chord change slightly. So on the peak, just before the change, that one's fine. So you don't hear the transition as much. And that should be a lot better. Okay, so this one's the issue now. Obviously none of it's great. None of it's top, but so is that, I think that might be the chords that need, yeah. So I've marked the change quite early. When it's actually, yes, it's like it's actually about there. Yep, okay. I am happy with that for now. Now we can go on to more fun stuff. Now I've done the rough thing, worked out what I call a chord mapping. Obviously it's not uniform in time, so it's still this kind of mess at the moment. So we can play, you know, you can play around with these frequencies, do a bit more, you know, do some more interesting curves, different places, things like that. But I want to make it sound a bit more watery, so I'm going to go into the actual, I'm going to take down that bite. I'm going to go super duper on this. On the reverb, increase, make that about, make it about 10. I think that's cool. What else do I want? It's pretty loud, it's dominating, that's the only thing. I think some like droplet sort of stuff, and maybe that will be where the bass range kind of comes in. So I'm going to go for another software instrument. Native instruments, I'm going to go for a reactor sound. open that bad boy up. Takes a while on my computer. Play reactor instruments. Oh, the tape thing. Yeah, I could put that on as an effect on the pad and just use it to muffle it, but I'm not going to do that right this second. I am going to use Monarch. Bring that audio way down because it's loud. The thing I've got to do with Monarch is set the output. What have I done? This looks like it's changed. What's happened? Usually go to that and connect. Ah, I didn't have it selected. Channels, Omni. So obviously that's like, you know, again, super sci-fi. These are the things I tend to go to. But that's me just messing around, so sorry. A little bit like Stranger Things. I do like that kind of style. But yeah, I'm trying to go for a raindrop. So I'm just going to copy this all the way down. Not copy the automation data. I'm just going to mess with an arpeggiator with those chords. No variation. I'm just going to go with a custom, not a custom, a standard alternating current thing. So because obviously these are all in weird shapes, the arpeggiator is not really enjoying it. So I'm going to quantize all that. I might just bang that that like that and just see what that sounds like. Now the question is do I worry about the audio sync altogether and get rid of it? That is something that I probably would do. So I either just have it so it's pure ambient and I get rid of the bass element and I duplicate this thing and copy exactly what it was and drop, what was that note? It's F. Drop it an octave, which took me ages to get to, and just completely mess with the sound of the second one. You know, just do some crazy see, now I kind of got mesmerised looking at it, which might be good. It might be good to just have that. Take away the ARP. Yeah, I could do that and then get rid of, either get rid of these or just have them as like real low pulses. Real low. Oh, that might be no. And I could just pick my timing there for them. And just have those heavy impact boom notes. Yeah, I'm going to extend the hold on there. for that. I'm just gonna go for that floating, drifting, nothing too mad, because the video doesn't allow for it. Oh, I've got to tickle on my tongue then. So yeah, I'm going to automate the cutoff. And I'm going to do a point in the gap of in between each chord note, and then one just before it. I'm just going to do a slight bump. Slightest, gentlest of bumps. So it's going to be a slight increase in the cutoff frequency that reactor applies to the note. So I really like that first one, and it basically finishes just before the peak of that. That's starting to sound a bit better, isn't it? I think. So this is the original, so we're going to go mid. I'm just going to say mid. And I'm going to say highs, because these are higher frequency. So I want to change the characteristics of this a little bit to make it a bit more weird. So the highs, I might apply that tape effect that I was talking about, which is if I come onto this factory library effects, it is a thing I downloaded called VHS audio degradation suite, so we can make this high frequency sound a bit crap. So I'm going to go to replica, another Native Instruments plugin, which is a sort of delay effects module. You can use it for all kinds of things. You can create reverbs, but I use it for my delays, so I'm going to see what I can do with it. Trying to make that crystal kind of sound, you know. Go for that analog or diffusion. So together. So we're at minus 3.8, I'm going to go minus 5. Still not good enough, minus 7. All the way to minus 10. No, that's too much. Minus 8. Yeah, that's cool. It gives it a bit more spread. A bit more of that. Oh, so if I now bring it all in. I'm now opening up slowly Slate Digital Virtual Mix Rack, which is a pretty good all-purpose kind of mixing thing. See, it says I've got these, but I haven't. There we go. So I've got these two. These three. I don't use the monster, so it's basically invisible to me. I use these two sometimes. I mainly use the FG401. And sometimes use these. I don't really use them that much, but I use the EQs, these two EQs quite a lot. So I'm going to use this EQ just to filter out some of the subs. Go for about 66. No, not that much. About there. Bring up some of the highs. About 3K. I'm just going to bump it up. After the EQ. Doesn't really need to be compressed, but I'm just going for colorization. Just want that gentle boom, boom kind of thing. Drop it by 1 dB. Maybe 0.5. So I've got the general character of the entire thing. Oh, that was my chest. That was my chest. But I'm getting a bit hungry, so I do want to leave soon. But what I am going to do is I'm going to mute the highs. And you know, it's kind of hypnotizing with this whole boo, boo, boo. So I need to change some of the notes, I think. Two times is fine. One, I think it should just be the same chord. And then just left. So this is the note on the 7th bar, changed to a G. So I would change that to a G. So together. Timing of it's a bit weird, isn't it? I don't know, but not much can be done about that. I think the pulses are a little bit too loud. Alright, that's fine. One thing I do like to do is also do a bit of metering just to see what levels we got. So I can multimeter on the stereo output. Ideally we want this correlation meter up in the green, but because of the reverbs and the stereo nature of it, it's going to be all over the shop. Last little change, I think I just want to make it a little bit less energy. Which is, I want to get that timing wise pretty bang on. Concentration face. Okay. I mean, it's not too bad. change. Maybe that'll sound naff. Just going to bring the length in. One thing I'm going to do is I've got this bass low, is I'm going to copy it, exactly. So I had something in my mind then. Boom, boom. This one got to be set as well. You think that you wouldn't have to do this. If anyone ever watches this, it's probably no one will, but if anyone does, and they know how to set that so it just automatically is set to Omni, that would be sweet. Yeah, it's not doing what I really wanted it. I wanted it to be like a sort of boom, 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 boom. I think sack that idea off. Just because you have an idea doesn't mean it's good. Well, I mean, it's alright, isn't it? It's not too bad. Just have a little final play. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. And then, you know, there'll be a fade out. Big fade out. And then, yeah. That'll do, I reckon. I'm now going to stop this. Because it's probably been going on for way too long. But yeah, I'll be back.